and extend their lead over Jurgen Klopp's side to 3 points, still 12 adrift though of City at the top of the table. Big talking point at the moment, of course, is the future of Alexis Sanchez. He's been heavily linked to a move to Manchester United and Manchester City over the last couple of weeks as we welcome Julien Laurent to the show. However, that seems to have switched gears somewhat over the last few hours, Julien. ESPN FC sources suggesting that Manchester City are done, they're out the race, they don't want to pay his wages. And Chelsea, meanwhile, are looking to hijack the Manchester United deal for the Chilean.
Yeah, you're right. And so United hijacked the deal from City for Alexis, and now Chelsea trying to hijack the deal for United. Yes, that's where we are. City are out. They don't want a bidding war. They don't want to increase the offer they made to Alexis, who is a very good player, world-class player, but still a lot of money.
Over $400,000 a week. Let's take this team by team, shall we? Yep. Starting off with Manchester City.
Yeah, well, I think they're a lot annoyed about the way the business was conducted in the transfer window in August, and I think that's continued. And then they've become frustrated what's happened now in the price that Arsenal won't shift, and as Julian said, the wages as well. Look, if it was all about winning the Premier League and potentially winning the Champions League, then Alexis Sanchez would take a cut in those wages and go to Man City. I mean, that would be the sensible football move. But if it is all about the money for him, then the likelihood is it's going to be Man United. And listen, for Man United, that's a great move as well.
Who needs him more, United or Chelsea?
I think right now Chelsea needs him more. The fact that they're trying to hijack this tells you that they're searching. It tells you they're looking for a spark or a move or something to get them going, because right now the form they're in is, well, it's awful. So Chelsea need him right now. The long term, I think he's better for Manchester United.
I go to Man United. If I got the choice of those two, you know, even though we've been critical of Mourinho, it's such a big club. They are going to spend money. They will go again in the summer in the transfer window, in my opinion. And I think, as Stevie says, I mean, he would go into Man United and completely enhance their team. From a Chelsea perspective, if they are going to lose Eden Hazard at some point, potentially to Real Madrid, then that would kind of soften that blow if they were to lose a player of that ilk. But let's not forget as well, Sanchez is 29. So it's not exactly a long-term plan. But then Chelsea don't really think long-term in terms of the transfer strategy.
Given what we saw from Manchester City at the weekend, is it a mistake playing hardball with Alexis Sanchez? Do they not need him if they're going to solidify this great campaign? Talk of obviously the quadruple.
No, I don't think so. Listen, let's just calm down. They've lost one game. They do need somebody that, but you got to look at Pep Guardiola. You know, he's pulled Delph from nowhere and turned him into a left back. I'm sure he'll make some sort of move with the players he has, and they'll still be excellent. So I don't have a problem.
You got Bernardo Silva, you got Sané, you got Sterling, you got David Silva, you got De Bruyne, you got all these players. If you wanted to play with that false number 9 or whatever you want to call it, if Jesus' injury doesn't heal as quickly and Aguero gets injured, there are options there that they can still play a very attacking style. His concern about getting people in is still where he's been looking for months and months, and that is the centre-half position.
It's like Alexis Sanchez is up for grabs. Everyone wants him, and why not? Except for Chelsea, Craig. And I think some of the Chelsea fans want to pick your brain and weigh the pros and cons as to why you think Chelsea are not after this man.
I'm sure they don't.
We love Craig's opinion.
At the end of the day, you know, there is no cast iron guarantee that Chelsea are not trying to do some sort of deal. I mean, the two Manchester clubs are reported to be doing it. Liverpool, hat was in the ring about a sneaky little bid and tried to entice him. And his name's been mentioned with Chelsea before. I read Mark Ogden, our colleagues, some of his column on it, and the whys and the whys not. His age, 29, could be an issue. The transfer fee, no.
Not typical for Chelsea, huh?
Well, no, but what is typical for Chelsea at the moment? They get a manager in, they sack him. They get players in, they leave. There's a big turnaround and involvement of personnel at Chelsea. You know, the Conte situation might be an issue. The fact Michael Emenalo left as well, who was operating some of the transfers behind the scenes, he's left as well. Who's filling that void at the moment? You know, the wages, I read Mark said, might be an issue. The other side of the coin is, if Sanchez, you know, if Chelsea were looking to offset the loss of Eden Hazard, and he was to go to Real Madrid at some point, and it would probably be the summer if that was the case, and that's been muted, then Sanchez somewhat offsets that. You've got Willie in there, you've got Pedro there. So that would kind of offset that for a couple of years, not obviously over the long term because he's an older player. So I don't know. The whole thing at Chelsea's kind of strange at the moment because one, they're not playing well. Two, they've lost the people that I mentioned. Three, the manager never looks particularly happy, even though he's had success. And I think that's always a difficult one for a player when you're looking at the reasons to go to a club out with the money. And I think the lack of anything that's settled at Chelsea at the moment might be one of the reasons why Sanchez's camp might even have said to Chelsea, look, we're not interested.
Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. So that I think he's got his heart set on going to Manchester, one of the two big clubs up there. That's what it looks like to me.
There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding Chelsea right now. One thing that is for certain is that Craig is in his Chelsea blues and he's looking quite fancy. We'll see if Alexis Sanchez decides to wear some Chelsea blue as well or if he'll stick with the Manchester.
Didn't like the first half. I only liked 2 amazing goals. But I think we were confident and organized, but a bit slow. And I think I had tried to bring a positive team with 3 football players in midfield to try to play. Plus Shaqiri was also coming there, and they had the ball, and it was difficult for us to press them. And they had more chances than I would like them to have in the first half. We scored 2 amazing goals, and for me that was the good thing of the first half. Second half, totally different. Second half, we lost lots of chances because we accelerate the game. We recovered the ball faster. We didn't let them play. Jones and Smalling, they brought the line so up that was impossible for Peter Crouch to put a foot in the box. And in the second half, I think we played confidently and fast and aggressive, and I liked the second half.
Alexis Sanchez, how confident are you to bring him here this morning?
Not confident, but also not. What's the opposite of confident? Unconfident. Thank you. Just relaxed and with the feeling that he is an Arsenal player, with the feeling that he can stay there, but also with the feeling that he can move, and if he moves, I think we have a chance. But I think most probably a player like him has other big clubs interested, and who knows? I think him, Mr. Wenger, Mr. Gazidis, I think they are the ones that know really what is going to happen. No, I don't know anything about it, and today I don't have one single information, So let's see what happens.
Any questions on the game?
Sorry, Joseph, can I just ask you, is there any chance of maybe Qatari going the other way if you do manage to get Sanchez?
I didn't select him today because I wanted players, fully focused, and I understand that with so much talk and so much speculation, I understand that not easy for Mkhitaryan to play at home with this feeling can happen, maybe doesn't happen. So I prefer to protect him and to protect the situation. And in the end of the transfer market, if he stays here, he's a very good player. He's a very good player that this season starts very, very well and come a little bit down. But last season did amazing things for us, help us to win the Europa League, being one of the most important players. So let's see what is going to happen. It's a pity that the market closes only on the 31st. The market should close maybe tomorrow and finish with everything.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much.